Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast, and the upcoming segment is from our full Fast Break podcast that we recorded. And if you do want to check out that full podcast, head over to Blog Talk Radio /The Fast Break. You'll be able to find the full podcast over there.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, is Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Throwing up the backwards hand again, Dave.
Yep.
Throwing the backwards
This time I'm just
wave.
trying to block it, though. I'm all about coverage this time.
All about coverage. Unlike Isaiah Thomas apparently playing defense, because that's what all of our comments.
That dude can't play D.
That's what all of our comments are about the Isaiah Thomas max contract. Is that he can't play defense. But anyways, we're not talking about IT these podcasts. We're talking about Jabari Parker. We're talking about the Knicks, and God, please be the last Knicks topic. I'm so sick of the fucking Knicks.
It's not gonna be.
Then we're also talking about the NBA draft. Two players in specific, Dennis Smith and Josh Jackson. So it should be a fun podcast. I'm excited. You guys are excited.
Definitely.
I'm excited to tear into the Knicks in our second topic, but we're going to jump into Jabari Parker. He tore his ACL again, same ACL that he tore in his rookie season. So it's looking bleak for Jabari. I mean,
It's not ideal.
He is a Chicago boy. We are Chicago boys. And, you know, it sucks seeing a guy like that who's so young and so talented go down. And the question I want to throw out there and the question that I'm asking that is this injury a career ender for Jabari Parker? And not really career ender because he's most likely going to come back, but will he be able to come back the same? Because he's having a career season averaging like 20 points per game.
Yeah, just over 20 points per game. It's a scary thing because when you talk about the ACL injuries that players go through, it's not only just, the injury, the recovery, and getting back on the court, but then it's trying to trust your body again, which I think that's like half the game, to be honest with you. Because like the body can recover after surgery, and medicine only keeps getting better and better. You go over to Germany for a summer and you pull a
few
Kobe.
shots here and there.
You pull a Kobe and you come back better than ever. But the mental aspect is a whole nother thing, and that's the question with a young guy like him who is so physical, and he's a pure athlete, and like that his game is
driving.
reliant on that. So that's what scares me. And now twice the same knee is even worse because we came back after the first one pretty fearless. So I feel like he can, and I feel like medicine's only going to continue to improve. So like he should be able to come back at full force. But it's going to be mental at this point. And I don't know if he's going to come back and be able to drop 20 plus continuously or not. That might be asking a lot.
Because the one thing that does hurt his game, he's not a super deadly shooter from the outside.
No, he's not.
I mean, he's not a guy with a great jumper. But
he's improved his shot, though. He's improved the 3-point shot.
He was shooting 36% this year. Not a ton of attempts, but,
But still, he's not a dead eye out there. He's not a guy that you're going to want to rely on if it's late in the game. You're not going to swing it out to three.
He's no Golden State Warriors, but like the thing I look at,
he's no LeBron in the fourth.
That either. But the thing I look at here, and like what Dave was saying with the trusting the knee, if this was his first ACL injury, I would look at it and go, "You're 100% correct." Now, are you going to have that with the second ACL? Of course, but that side of it, I wouldn't be too worried about because it's one of those things where I've been through this before. I know my own body at this point to how I can rehab it and get back on the court. The thing that would be in the back of my mind, and this also goes to the mental side, of when you do get back, are you constantly thinking, okay, it's going to happen again, it's going to happen again, it's going to happen again, kind of a thing, because it's already happened twice.
Is he going to think he's a ticking time bomb, really?
Yeah.
You see fearless guys like Derrick Rose go out there who, we watch him go down time after time. He hasn't been the same, but his game hasn't changed much. He's more hesitant to go in the lane, and that's obvious. And now he talked publicly about, he's got to protect himself for when it matters for him. But I think that's more of a personality problem. Mm-hmm. But even the fact that he has to think of it that way changed his game.
Even when and I know that his was not 2 ACLs.
Right.
But it was that first one. Even that first season he came back, he was hesitant to drive into the lane because you kind of saw like, Derrick Rose is getting flashbacks again, which is totally understandable because of what the injury does. But I wonder if Jabari is going to use the experience he had with that first ACL to kind of use that and say, I'm going to use that to help me repair this one and rehab from this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if when he comes back, it goes, okay, I am not going to try to be the best. Of course, he's not the best player on the Bucks, but I'm not going to go out there and try to be the guy. I'm just going to go out there and however I can help the team win is what I'm going to do with what I can with my knee.
But the thing is like when you look at what he was bringing to the court and what he was doing when he was being the guy and what his role was driving. I mean, he's the guy that's playing baseline. He's the guy that's playing that swingman role, and he's pretty much taking that and dominating the baseline driving. So it's really, can he be able to stop and start? Can he be able to fully go at the rim? Can he fully trust that knee to not give out on him again? Because watching him play this year, he didn't really have any hesitance. He had that confidence back.
He's balls to the walls.
And you might be right where he's like, all right, well, I've gone through this before. I know that I can recover. And I recovered before and was able to be just the same effective player as I was before. But that time bomb thing might be in his head where, it's happened before. It's just going to happen. When's it going to happen?
Yeah.
When's it going to happen?
That's what I'd be worried about is him thinking, well, it's happened twice. Could it happen again at any moment?
The upside of this, and if there is an upside to take away, is that time away from the game at a young age isn't always a bad thing. And they have a really good chance to learn and kind of balance their game out. So for someone with an ACL injury like him, he can work on his shot. And we talked about how he's so reliant on gaining the lane in order to be effective. Now he has an entire offseason while rehabbing that ACL to work on a shot. A la, what we've seen out of players like Joel Embiid, where he 2 years in a row like cursed with bad luck and injuries, and it's just like, you know what? He took that time. He learned from the game and, was in the pro scene. I know Jabari's not a rookie anymore, but there's still a lot to learn about the game.
And Jabari's not in the process.
He's not in the process. But he's still a young player who has a lot of things to learn about the game. And he can round out his game, or at least his shooting from this. And, you get more time with the coach when you do this. So you learn a whole lot more. You can kind of soak up more because you're not focused on playing every night. So you can kind of see the game from a different perspective. So I think that's the upside is you might grow more at like basketball IQ wise by not being in the game.
Well, and the one thing too that I want to bring up is the last time he suffered this injury, he suffered it on December 15th and then was able to return on November 4th. So that's an 11th month rehab pretty much. Now they're saying he's going to be out for a full year. So I don't know if that full year is because of the severity of the injury. Maybe it might be more severe than the last one, or if they want to give him enough time and to give him the full amount of time to come back, because this Bucks team, it comes at probably the most unopportune time at all.
One for the other.
You're getting Middleton back, and then right when that happens, Jabari goes down, and you're in a complete skid right now, because the last time we talked about the Bucks, it was when Milwaukee hurt Giannis's superstardom, and pretty much we jinxed the Bucks because now they've pretty much have gone downhill since we've talked about them, and there was a lot of hype about Giannis, and now it's kind of deflating this Milwaukee team. So looking at Milwaukee as general, I mean, what are you more hesitant that you're going to be building around a guy that just tore his ACL for the second time?
Oh, you're not. The first thing I thought of when I saw this injury was, and Buck fans are going to hate me for saying this, you ain't making the playoffs. Already. You're not making the playoffs. You're done this year.
I don't think that's too bold to say because you don't know what Middleton can do.
Well,
and Giannis is I was going to say Giannis. Giannis is as fantastic as he is.
It's not just that.
He's not going to be able to carry him every night.
It's also, you got like the Bucks should be in a position right now where they're ready to take the Eastern Conference 8th seed, because to me the Pistons haven't shown, like, they've been a team that's like, hey, we're here. We're hanging on to it, whereas the Hornets are a team that's not playing that strong. The Heat are trying to come out like gangbusters and take that 8th seed away from whoever wants it. Well, not the Heat.
Don't remind me about the Heat.
More Dion Waiters, but like,
talk about them so badly.
The Bucks should be the team where it's, hey, the Knicks are slacking by, the Pistons and Hornets are kind of coasting. We should be the ones that are trying to take that 8th seed, maybe even the 7th seed, because let's be honest, the Bulls aren't in that good of a shape
we're
either.
day and night.
But even then, I mean, Jabari was healthy and they were like 2-11. I mean, they've completely fallen off in the past 13 games.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, like, with getting Middleton back, this should have been the
should have
run.
been that re-energized.
This should have been the run.
Middleton over Snell.
Because remember,
slight improvement.
Because remember, we
time.
were told in the comment section how underrated Chris Middleton is. But I mean, this
But
injury,
we even knew about Middleton. I mean,
this
we
injury,
mentioned him in our central preview.
Taking him away from Middleton and Jabari that is taking him away.
Giannis.
You guys know me. I screw Buckman.
Hard G.
But the one thing is, I just think that this team not going to make the playoffs. You're done, but you'll be better than the Knicks. You'll be better than New York.
Yeah,
so
but
there's a bright side.
Okay, so you're saying they're not making the playoffs, which means they're in the lottery again.
Yes.
So do you feel like they need to go get themselves another power forward? Do you feel like this second injury causes concern?
Do they go get?
Guess who's starting in place of Jabari?
No.
Thon Maker.
The 37-year-old Thon Maker?
The 39-year-old Thon Maker.
The 44-year-old Thon Maker?
44-year-old Thon Maker.
I'm sorry, the 86-year-old Thon
Yes,
Maker.
he's starting in place of Jabari. So, I mean, team wingspan's already taken effect.
Oh, my God.
I think that's an interesting question.
Too bad he can't get 10 fouls in one of these games.
It's going to be interesting, though, like, where do they go?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is his third year in the NBA, so, I mean, they still have him under contract, but it's just the question of, you mentioned it, two ACL injuries to the same knee, and at that point, you're like, all right, how much can we trust you? How much are you the future? I mean, it looks like Giannis is truly like the centerpiece for the franchise.
As he should be.
Yeah. And then after that, you're like, okay, who's the Batman Robin? Like, where's his two guy? And Jabari looked perfect. Like, this was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. You get Middleton for the spacing.
Middleton's your Nightwing.
Yeah, there you go. And it was really starting to line up, and I could see it. But now you're like, all right, do we need to go out there and make a move and get somebody else in case Jabari's not the same?
And the one thing I want to bring up, because you bring up the draft, and I think that was a perfect transition. And, looking at my mock draft 1.0, they were sitting around 14th. Now they're at 12, according to Tankathon, which is a great website. If you have never checked out Tankathon, do it. They're fantastic. But, yeah, Milwaukee was sitting at 14, and I'm selecting your boy Bam out of Kentucky.
Yeah, he's fallen off a little, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, but now
still think talent.
Him moving up, that's going to be interesting because then they're going to be in the running for Harry Giles. They're going to be in the running for TJ Leaf. They're going to be in the running for Miles Bridges.
That's a name, though, with Harry Giles I first thought of, but then I'm like,
one injury for another?
Why would you draft Harry Giles when Jabari, it's the same injury?
No, I know, and completely agree. But
I wanted
I'm
to
just
throw
throwing
his name out.
I'm throwing the names.
It's still a name.
Throwing the names that are out there. And also, Lauri Markkanen. I mean, he's in the running too, and if you want to bring spacing, which Jabari wasn't really bringing at that four spot,
I love him.
You can spread that out, and you're bringing team length. So I think that's an interesting part. I don't know if you're looking for if you're the Bucks, if you're looking for his replacement, but if you're more looking for shooters, because
you might be
because I think the one thing that you can go for is because you have so much length. I mean, I think
Thon kind of gives you, and we'll wait and see how he pans out for the rest of the season. Obviously, now he has the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew him for his offensive talent, and his wingspan's ridiculous.
But I think what you can do now is if you aren't really sure of where Jabari fits in your future, you can go to a completely different style with this Milwaukee Buck team, and you can go for just complete spacing, and you can just let Giannis work in the paint, let Giannis drive like he can, and spread out this floor. I mean, Greg Monroe's, I think most likely he's going to be off the books. They just cleared up a ton of cap space, getting rid of one of the Plumlees. And now they can really bring in spacing if they do want to. So it's going to be interesting. And then if Jabari does come back, they can run a lineup where he's at the 4, and you get a guy who can shoot like Thon Maker, and possibly be able to shoot like Thon Maker at the 5. So it's going to be interesting to go. If you are put in that position of the Bucks, where would you go? Would you rely on Jabari coming back?
I think I'd spend my lottery pick on it. I would. I think it's worth it at that point, because I mean, either way, you're going to get depth and possibly a good shooter, or you have your future power forward going forward already in one of these two guys. So I think that's where they need to go. I mean, obviously you'd like to get a better shooting point guard. I know you're using Giannis at the point, but the official point guard, maybe a second shooting guard, whatever you want to call it out there. You need a second guard who can space the floor. I'm with you. I think that's the route they should take. I think that would really let them abuse other teams offensively. Ricky, thoughts?
I'm going to go with a big man. I'm going with the 5. I'm going with the center. And the reason why is, I don't think that the Bucks need to overreact about this. I mean, you can take Thon.
So you're not pushing the panic button.
Yeah, no, you can move Thon over to the 4. I know on the depth chart on ESPN, he's listed as a 5, but you can move Thon over to the 4, keep everyone else set. Like you said, they got rid of Plumlee, and really it's your next piece you're looking to move because of big contract is Greg Monroe. He is not the answer at number 5, and one of the guys that I'm going to kind of be looking at this March, especially seeing where Texas falls in the tournament is Jared Allen. I think that because I looked at Chad Ford's and he had Pittman from Creighton.
Yeah.
I don't think Pittman's going to be the guy we look at.
Patton.
I think that Jared Allen is the guy that he could be
It's like Jared
a
Allen because you
riser.
like Jared Allen in the NFL.
He could be a riser as we get to
The
March.
one thing with Patton, he's got crazy offensive skills, and he's really good down low. But the one thing that really is the fault with Greg Monroe is he's not that physical. I mean, for a big guy who's 7 foot, he's not pulling
And
down that many
defensively
boards,
poor.
and he's not he's not blocking that many shots. Jared Allen, the guy out of Texas,
defensive.
he's very scrappy. Like, he's a guy that's going to go and grab boards.
Yeah.
He's going to go and block shots. So he's a guy that's more defensive minded that they were kind of looking for when they did sign Greg Monroe. So I think that could be an interesting fit, but I think it might also be a reach for him. I mean, we'll see where he pans out.
All depends on how it. Like I said, a guy to look at.
March could be
for
really
March.
interesting.
Yeah, March could be interesting, but I don't even know if Texas is going to make it. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. But I think Patton offensively for his ability that he could become, because if he's able to develop that defensive game, I think that's going to be the real interesting thing there. But any final thoughts on Jabari? Because I mean, it's really heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know, and like you said at the start, he's a local kid. We watched him grow up, and I remember back when we were talking about him playing in high school and getting hyped up and watching the mixtapes and be like, oh my god, this kid's gonna be awesome coming out, and then he gets drafted by the Bucks and crushing injury, 25 games into his first season. It's like, oh, all right, that's right. He can come back. He's young. He'll be fine. He came back next year, and this year he's improved a lot. Like his numbers have just kept climbing, and then just goes down again. It's like I hope he comes back, and I hope he can still put up 20 a night. I hope he's still that explosive offensive player, but I'm setting my expectations on the lower end of the scale, to be honest with you.
Yeah, with me, I'm going to the point I said. I don't think the Bucks make the playoffs because of this injury.
I don't think that's
And
too far off.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the one thing I did want to say to kind of stat correct myself on the college side is it's going to be interesting to see Allen play in March because he's probably not making the tournament. I mean, Texas is, 10-14? So unless
There's like 124 teams in that tournament now, right?
unless they win the Big 12 conference
There's
tournament,
25 weekends.
they will be sitting at home come March Madness time.
Hey, we went to March Madness. Man, that was fun. But I just want to throw that out there because that was a great memory. But yeah, I completely agree. I would worry if I'm Bucks fans just because it's the second time and we don't see guys bounce back as good as they were.
I'm gonna wait and see
And
what
that's
happens
fair. I mean,
before I
Thomas
say
Davis-
career ender or not.
Thomas Davis of the Panthers did bounce back from 3 tears in his ACL, and
But
he had his
it's
best
a different
season.
game.
It's a different game, but again, I mean, he's very young, so that might play into his help. That also might hurt him and just end his career completely like early. And we hope that Jabari can bounce back because the Bucks, while they have fallen off a little bit in January, they were a very promising team, and with Giannis.
I think we could all see what they're trying to build over there. Yeah,
I think there was a lot of potential there, but it's going to be interesting to see what they can do now and what they will do with Jabari's injury. Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh, it's just one of our videos scared me a little bit. Don't forget to check out that one. And also don't forget to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.